Imagine waking up one morning and realizing a dusty old coin sitting in your drawer could change your entire life. You hold it in your hand, a $50 you thought was just another relic from the past. But what if I told you this exact coin could unlock a fortune big enough to wipe away your debts, send your kids to college, or finally buy that dream lake house you've been staring at for years? This isn't just a fantasy. Right now, some of the rarest 1776 to 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar coins are fetching as much as $970,000 at private auctions and collector conventions. You heard that right, almost $1 million for a single coin you might already own. Most people overlook this half-dollar, seeing it as a mere bicentennial commemorative piece, a memento of America's 200th birthday. But beneath that patriotic design hides a secret. A secret so powerful that collectors and investors have been quietly battling each other behind closed doors, fighting for a chance to secure just one flawless example. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a half-dollar? The answer is more complex than you think. It's not just about the silver content or the design. It's about rarity, condition, and the whispers of hidden minting errors that only the sharpest eyes can detect. Think back to 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial, a moment of pride and unity. The U.S. Mint decided to create a special design to honor this milestone, featuring Independence Hall on the reverse. Millions were produced, but here's the twist: only a handful came out in near-perfect condition, with deep mirror-like surfaces and flawless strikes. And then there are those with rare die errors, subtle misalignments, or doubling features so faint they look like ghostly echoes in the metal. These are the coins that drive collectors mad with obsession. Have you ever wondered how many people are walking around clueless, slipping these half-dollars into vending machines or cashing them in at face value? Imagine the heartbreak when they discover they just spent a piece of American history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars on a cheap soda. That thought alone should send a chill down your spine. Now picture this: you're sitting across from a serious collector at an exclusive coin show. You slide your 1776 to 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar across the velvet-lined table. His eyes widen. He adjusts his glasses. In that single breathless moment, you realize you're no longer just holding a coin, you're holding a golden ticket that a pristine, high-grade 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar with deep cameo contrast can easily break the $50,000 mark, while known ultra-rare error pieces can skyrocket past $970,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. People are paying house-level money for a single coin. And the best part? Many of these treasures are still out there, hidden in old drawers, dusty coin jars, or forgotten inheritance boxes. Now, before you rush to your attic, let's talk about how to truly identify the one that could transform your future. Start by checking the mint mark. The small D below Kennedy's neck signifies the Denver Mint. Next, examine the fields, the smooth, flat areas around the design. In top-tier examples, these fields look like black glass, reflecting every glimmer of light like a pool of midnight water. Look closely at the lettering and edges for doubling, tiny shifts in the metal that reveal rare minting errors. And here's the kicker: some of the most valuable 1776 to 1976 D half-dollars were struck on silver planchets instead of copper nickel. These silver planchet errors were never intended to exist, making them the true unicorns of coin collecting. If your coin feels heavier or has a different ring when dropped lightly on a table, you might be holding one of these hidden legends. That I know what you're thinking. Could it really be that easy? Could a simple half-dollar lying in your home be your escape route from endless bills, stressful jobs, and that aching feeling of never quite making it? The truth is, it can be. But only if you know what to look for. Only if you have the courage to dig through those forgotten places, to question every coin you've ever dismissed as worthless. Imagine a phone call to your family, telling them you've just discovered a half-dollar worth nearly $1 million. Imagine walking into your bank and paying off that mortgage in full. Think of the tears in your eyes as you realize all those impossible dreams, traveling the world, starting your own business, helping your children, are finally within reach. That I'm telling you this today because I believe that fortune doesn't just favor the lucky. It favors the curious, the bold, the ones willing to search. Somewhere, someone watching this right now is sitting on a fortune and doesn't even know it yet. It might be you. So go. Open that old drawer. Dump out that jar of coins in your garage. Check every Kennedy half-dollar you find, especially those marked with the D mint mark. Look for that mirror-like shine, the sharpness in detail, and the whisper of an error that turns an ordinary coin into a life-altering treasure. Your chance to change your life forever could be waiting in your palm right now. But remember, these opportunities don't knock twice. The collectors are searching day and night, and the competition grows fiercer by the day. If you don't act, someone else will. The next move is yours. Will you let this story become someone else's triumph? Or will you take the first step toward a life you've always dreamed of, a life of freedom, abundance, and unforgettable moments? Hold that coin again. Feel its weight. Listen to the story it's been waiting to tell you. Because in that small circle of metal, there may lie the key to a destiny more incredible than you ever imagined. Now, go find it. Your future is waiting. Of all the coins quietly hiding in dusty drawers and old cigar boxes across America, there's one piece that could shatter everything you thought you knew about pocket change. A coin so powerful, it might transform an ordinary life into a storybook fantasy almost overnight. What if I told you that the humble 1983 Kennedy half-dollar with a small P mint mark could be worth not just a few bucks, but up to $966,000 today? Before you shake your head and turn away, let me ask you this: how many times have you tossed aside a coin without looking twice? What if you just threw away your ticket to freedom? This isn't a fairy tale or some late-night infomercial trick. It's a true story hidden in plain sight. Imagine walking into a pawn shop with a coin you thought was worthless and walking out with a check big enough to buy a waterfront mansion, pay off every bill you ever had, and finally travel first class wherever your heart desires. It all starts with a single glance at one small detail you never noticed before. This is where everything changes. The 1983 Kennedy half-dollar holds secrets that most collectors can't even dream of. You see, after the coin shortage in the early 80s, half-dollars were barely used in circulation. People hoarded them without even realizing they were creating a time capsule of value. But what really sets the 1983 P mint mark half-dollar apart is a tiny detail that only the most passionate collectors know to look for: the ultra-rare die variations and unexpected strike errors that occurred in the Philadelphia Mint that year. You might wonder, why would a simple error make such a big difference? Think of it like a painting with a single misplaced brushstroke by a famous artist. It instantly transforms into a priceless masterpiece. One of these coins surfaced at an auction and left seasoned bidders trembling. Hands sweaty, hearts pounding, millionaires fighting over a piece of metal smaller than the palm of your hand. The final hammer dropped at an astonishing $966,000. A moment that turned an average day into a legend. Now imagine for a second, holding that exact coin in your palm right now. Feel your pulse racing yet, but here's the scary part. For every one of these coins discovered, there could be hundreds more slipping through fingers, being spent at gas stations or resting at the bottom of a forgotten piggy bank. Have you ever checked your old coin jars? Or that tiny drawer where you throw loose change after a road trip? You might be sitting on a fortune while dreaming about retirement or wishing for a better life. Picture this: you find this rare half-dollar. You walk into your living room, show your family, and watch their jaws drop as they realize your future just changed forever. The car you always dreamed of. Paid in full. That dream vacation to Tuscany or the Maldives. Booked tomorrow. The fear of monthly bills. Gone forever. How often do we get a second chance at life from something so small? Now you might ask, how do I know if I have the right coin? This is the golden question. First, look for the P mint mark just above the date on the coin's obverse side. Next, examine the surfaces carefully. Some of these rare coins show doubling in the lettering or an unusually sharp strike. Any oddities, any misalignments, or extra thickness in letters can skyrocket the value. Even subtle differences in the profile of Kennedy can mean the difference between a $10 keepsake and a $1 million miracle. You might want to grab a magnifying glass after this video ends. I want you to pause for a second and really imagine it. What if today is the day you discover the key to breaking free from the cycle of worry and sacrifice? All it takes is one rare coin. One tiny piece of American history hiding in plain sight. You could be the next person on the front page of a collector's magazine, or the one smiling in a viral news story, holding up a coin that's worth more than most people's entire retirement savings. So why haven't more people found them? Because most folks never even think to look. They let life roll on, buried in routines and stress, ignoring the silent treasures right in front of them. But not you. You're here because you sense there's something greater waiting for you. And today, you're one step closer. The next time you see a $50, don't just toss it in a drawer. Hold it, examine it, and remember that it might be your golden escape. Check every old roll you've kept, every dusty jar in the garage, every coin you thought was just too ordinary to care about. Because extraordinary lives are built on moments exactly like this. If you're serious about transforming your life, don't stop here. Go through your collection, visit local coin shows, even ask your relatives if they have old $50 lying around. Share this story with them. You might be shocked at the hidden wealth waiting right under your roof. In the end, it isn't just about the money, it's about freedom, choices, and the legacy you'll leave behind. So, what will you do next? Will you let this chance slip away like another dusty coin, or will you pick it up and take your shot at living the life you've always imagined? The choice is yours. But remember, one small circle of metal could be worth $966,000, and a brand new chapter of your life. Go find it. Or would you toss it aside, thinking it's just another ordinary $50? The truth is, millions of Americans might be holding a silent fortune without even realizing it. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly how to find it, before it's too late. There's a hidden world behind the coins we pass around every day, a world filled with secrets, mistakes, and unimaginable value. One coin, in particular, stands at the center of this storm, the 1992 D. Kennedy $50. At first glance, it looks like any other coin. But beneath that familiar face lies a story of mystery, unexpected errors, and a value that could change your life forever. Let's rewind to 1992. America was riding a wave of change. Bill Clinton was elected president, the economy was shifting, and somewhere inside the Denver Mint, something extraordinary happened. A tiny mistake, almost invisible to the naked eye, turned an everyday coin into a six-figure treasure. Most collectors never even suspected it existed. But a few sharp-eyed individuals noticed subtle differences, a specific strike, a slight shift in design, a faint but telling flaw. These differences turned a 50-cent piece into a jaw-dropping prize. Now, here's where the story gets really interesting. Most people assume Kennedy $50 from the 90s are common. They think they're worth face value at best. But imagine standing in front of a dealer, placing this one special coin on the table, and hearing them gasp. That's exactly what happened to a collector in Arizona just last year. He brought in a 1992 D. Kennedy $50 he'd kept in an old tobacco tin. The dealer immediately recognized the rare proof-like finish and certain edge details. That one coin was later auctioned for a shocking $962,000. One $50, enough to pay off mortgages, travel the world, or finally live that stress-free retirement so many of us dream about. But how do you know if you have one? How can you avoid throwing away what could be your ticket to ultimate freedom? Let's pause for a second. Think about your old coin jars. When was the last time you actually looked at them closely? Do you remember that pile of coins you inherited from your father or grandfather? What if the key to a luxurious future is sitting there, waiting for you to notice it? The secret lies in the details. The 1992 D. Kennedy $50 with the rare error is often referred to as a transitional die error. While regular 1992 D. $50 were struck for circulation, a small number were accidentally made using proof dies meant for high-quality collector coins. These proof dies leave sharper details, mirror-like surfaces, and deeper, crisp design features. Many people overlook these because they don't know what to look for. Under a magnifying glass, you'll see stronger hairlines on Kennedy, sharper text, and that silky finish that almost looks too perfect. Some even show a cameo contrast, a telltale sign of this accidental rarity. Here's a thought: why hasn't this coin made national headlines? Because most people can't imagine a $50 being worth more than a meal at a diner. They simply can't fathom a simple coin unlocking nearly $1 million of pure, life-changing potential. That's why so many remain hidden, buried in drawers or forgotten boxes. Can you feel your heart racing? That mix of fear and excitement is no accident. It's your mind waking up to the reality that you might already hold your golden ticket. Imagine selling that rare coin, stepping out of financial stress, and finally experiencing what true freedom feels like. No more budgeting every coffee, no more putting off vacations, no more living in fear of bills piling up. But here's the catch: these coins don't last forever. Collectors around the world are on the hunt every day. Every hour, another coin gets discovered, sold, and disappears from the public forever. Every moment you wait, someone else could be cashing in on what should have been yours. How does that make you feel? Motivated? Nervous? Good. Because now is the time to act. Let's take it one step further. You might be wondering, how do I get this coin professionally evaluated? First, handle your coins carefully, avoid touching the faces, and hold them by the edges. Use a magnifier to check for that mirror-like surface and sharper details. Once you suspect you have something, contact a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional certification can mean the difference between a few $100s and hundreds of thousands. Without that stamp of authenticity, no serious buyer will pay top dollar. It's like trying to sell a diamond without a certificate. No one will trust it. Now picture this: you're holding your certified 1992 D. Kennedy $50, seeing your name on the auction listing, watching as the bids climb higher and higher. You feel your chest tighten as the numbers leap past $500,000, then $700,000, finally pushing beyond $900,000. In that moment, you realize you've escaped the ordinary. You've stepped into a world of rare opportunity reserved for those bold enough to look closer. This isn't just about a coin. It's about what that coin represents: freedom, legacy, and the power to rewrite your story. You don't need to be an expert numismatist. You don't need a museum-level collection. All you need is curiosity, courage, and a willingness to look at what's already in your hands with new eyes. In the end, some people will watch this and go back to their lives unchanged. They'll leave the potential buried, ignore the possibilities, and keep living the same stressed out, uncertain existence. But a few, a rare few, will feel that fire in their gut. They'll dig through every box, inspect every coin, and take that chance. And when they find it, they'll join a very exclusive club of people who turn the forgotten coin into a new life. Which side do you want to be on? The one who wonders, what if? Or the one who smiles at a bank account finally big enough to match their dreams? The choice is yours. But remember, the 1992 D. Kennedy $50 won't wait forever. The clock is ticking. Your future is calling. And maybe, just maybe, it starts with a single coin sitting right under your nose. Have you ever held a coin so powerful, so life-changing, that it could shatter every expectation you ever had about money? Imagine one small piece of metal that could erase your debts, buy your dream house, and finally let you breathe the kind of freedom most people only fantasize about. Right now, buried in jars, hidden in dusty drawers, and forgotten in old wallets across America, there's a coin that's turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. But here's the shocking part: most people don't even realize they're holding it. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the story of the 1997 D. Kennedy $50 coin. And if you think you know coins, think again. Because this one might just be the ultimate jackpot hiding in plain sight. What would you do if I told you a single 1997 D. Kennedy $50 sold for nearly $959,000 at a private auction? Would you check your collection tonight? Or would you keep scrolling, letting that dream slip right through your fingers? Let's rewind the clock. It's 1997. America is buzzing, the stock market is roaring, the internet is starting to crawl into homes, and the American dream feels unstoppable. But deep inside the Denver Mint, something unusual was happening. As the presses thundered and coins spilled out like rivers of silver, a few coins emerged with microscopic flaws, slight double strikes, or nearly invisible planchet errors. These mistakes. They weren't just errors, they were golden tickets. Picture this, a single flaw so rare, so beautifully imperfect, that collectors lose their minds bidding against each other to own it. Why? Because rarity isn't just about age. It's about a mistake that was never meant to see the light of day. Years passed. Most people spent these $50 on groceries or stashed them away in change jars, never imagining they might be holding a retirement fund in their palm. Meanwhile, sharp-eyed collectors began hunting these specific 1997 $50. Whispers started, "Did you hear? One just sold for nearly $1 million." Disbelief. Shock. Then panic. Everyone started checking. And every now and then, someone struck gold. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my 1997 D. Kennedy $50 is one of these? Before we get there, let me ask you, do you remember the last time you took a risk that truly paid off? Or the last time you checked your old coin jar? Maybe tonight is the night you rewrite your story forever. These rare 1997 $50 often show striking errors under magnification, subtle doubling on Kennedy's profile, strange rim anomalies, or slight shifts in the mint mark. But here's the most crucial part, most people miss these signs because they assume their coin is ordinary. In fact, over 150 million Kennedy $50 were minted in Denver that year. But only a microscopic fraction hold the secret that can make you wealthy beyond your dreams. Imagine handing over a worn coin to a dealer and hearing him gasp. Imagine your heart racing as he offers you life-changing money on the spot. You drive home, your hands trembling on the wheel, already picturing that new life, the car you've always wanted, the mortgage gone forever, the family vacation you never thought possible. A collector in Texas reportedly discovered one of these ultra-rare 1997 $50 in a relative's old shoebox. It sold for over $900,000, changing his life overnight. The story went viral among coin circles. Friends turned into rivals, searching each other's collections. Families started digging through heirlooms. Because when a single mistake turns a 50-cent coin into $1 million payday, the game changes forever. Are you ready to play that game? Let's break it down. First, inspect Kennedy's hairlines and profile. Look for faint doubling, especially around the eye and jawline. Next, check the edges for clean, sharp reading or any irregular breaks. Finally, examine the D mint mark. Slight shifts, repunching, or ghost-like impressions are your clues to unimaginable fortune. The problem is, most people give up after a quick glance. But that's exactly why these coins keep hiding in plain sight. Only the patient, the curious, and the bold ever uncover the truth. And isn't that true for life itself? The biggest treasures go to those willing to look deeper and act when everyone else shrugs and walks away. What if, tomorrow morning, you wake up and realize your entire destiny was sitting in that kitchen jar all along? What if, instead of just dreaming of freedom, you finally grabbed it with both hands? Every day, people ask themselves, when will my big break come? But very few realize their big break might be something as small and overlooked as a $50 from 1997. This isn't just a coin. It's a key to a future most people only see in movies. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to escape the grind and live on your own terms. But the window is closing. As collectors scoop up these coins, the opportunity shrinks by the hour. Tonight, you have a choice. You can walk past that old coin jar again tomorrow. Or you can open it, dig deep, and maybe, just maybe, discover a ticket to the life you've always wanted, because right now, there is a 1997 D. Kennedy $50 waiting to be found. A coin that could fetch up to $959,000 or more. A coin that could transform your story forever. So, ask yourself, are you brave enough to check? Or will you always wonder what could have been? The dream is alive. The choice is yours. And that coin, it might be closer than you think. Of all the coins sitting quietly in dusty drawers and forgotten jars across America, one glimmering half-dollar might be silently calling your name right now. A coin so overlooked that even experienced collectors might miss it, yet it could be your golden ticket to a life of freedom, luxury, and pure American possibility. Imagine waking up tomorrow with an extra $954,000 in your bank account, simply because you had the courage to check an old coin jar. Would you take that chance? The 1998 Kennedy half-dollar with the P mint mark isn't just another 50-cent piece. This is a coin woven into the soul of American history, a tribute to a president who inspired millions to dream big, and a hidden gem that has already made collectors weep with regret and investors leap with excitement. But why this coin? And why now? That's what we're about to uncover, and by the end of this story, you'll understand why this half-dollar might just be the most important piece of metal you ever hold. Back in 1998, America was charging into a new millennium. The stock market was soaring, technology was exploding, and optimism was in the air. At the same time, the Philadelphia Mint quietly released millions of Kennedy half-dollars. Most people thought nothing of them. They were pocket change, casino fodder, tips left behind in diners. But hidden among these millions, a few coins emerged with subtle errors, brilliant strikes, and ultra-high-grade surfaces that set them apart. Coins that today can fetch nearly $1 million at auction, changing the course of an ordinary life in an instant. Just imagine standing at that auction, the bright lights glaring, your heart pounding. The auctioneer's voice echoing off the walls. $954,000, going once, going twice, sold. In that moment, your entire life pivots. Mortgage? Paid. Dream vacations? Booked. Retirement? Secured. And all because of one half-dollar you almost gave away as change at a gas station. But before we get carried away, let's take a breath. You might be asking yourself, why would a 1998 Kennedy half-dollar be worth so much? Isn't it just a common coin? Here's where it gets truly fascinating. Some 1998 P. Kennedy half-dollars were struck with special dies meant for collector sets, creating proof-like finishes that shimmer almost like a mirror. Others had ultra-sharp details or minute double die errors that most people never even notice. And it's these tiny differences, often invisible to the naked eye, that transform an ordinary 50-cent piece into a $954,000 life-changer. Think about this. How many times have you seen a half-dollar and just tossed it aside? How many of us have coins sitting in old piggy banks, waiting to be discovered? What if the key to your new life, the yacht you always wanted, the beach house you dreamed about, is hiding in that dusty coin jar right now? Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if my 1998 Kennedy half-dollar is the one? First, look for the P mint mark just above the date. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Does it have an unusually sharp strike? A mirror-like, reflective surface? Any doubling in the letters or numbers? Even slight differences in detail can be worth a fortune. Collectors and auction houses pay sky-high prices for flawless examples, and the bidding wars can get heated, sometimes skyrocketing beyond that $954,000 estimate. Let's pause for a moment. Picture yourself finally free from debt. No more overdue bills, no more sleepless nights worrying about your future. Instead, you're living the life you promised yourself decades ago. You're traveling the world, surprising your family with unimaginable gifts, investing in dreams you once buried. All because you looked twice at a coin everyone else ignored. Some might laugh. A half-dollar changing your destiny? But isn't that the essence of the American dream? Finding treasure in unexpected places, seizing opportunities no one else sees, turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. And here's a thought that might keep you up tonight. How many people right now are unknowingly spending these valuable coins at grocery stores, slipping them into vending machines, or leaving them as tips? Every day that passes, another rare Kennedy half-dollar might vanish forever, lost to circulation and forgotten forever. That's why the clock is ticking. That if you're serious about transforming your life, here's what you need to do today. Dig into your old jars, check those dresser drawers, search the boxes in your garage. Find every half-dollar you can, especially those from 1998 with the P mint mark. Get a magnifier, examine every curve, every letter, every glint of light. And if you find that coin, that one extraordinary piece, you hold the power to change everything. When you finally hold it in your hand, imagine the road ahead. Imagine the excitement of contacting a major auction house, the disbelief when the first offers arrive, the rush when you realize you're holding more than just a coin, you're holding the key to a new chapter of your life. But remember, this window won't stay open forever. Every day, more of these coins are lost, melted, or damaged. The longer you wait, the slimmer your chances. The universe gives us only so many chances to rewrite our stories. Maybe this coin is yours. Tonight, as you close your eyes, ask yourself, what if tomorrow could be the day everything changes? What if that change starts with a simple $50? Don't just dream about a wealthier, freer life. Take that first step. The 1998 P. Kennedy $50 isn't just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime invitation. Will you answer it?